To be introduced, Governor Wes Moore.
Mr. President, it's a distinct honor and privilege to announce in the presence of these chambers the Governor-elect, Mr. Wesley Amari Moore and his family.
Mr. Moore is joined on the podium by his wife, Dawn. Mr. Moore is new to the State House. Dawn is not. She was an aide to now Attorney General Anthony Brown when he served as Lieutenant Governor.
Okay, so place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore,
I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore,
do swear that I will support
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof
and
that I will to the best of my skill and judgment diligently and faithfully
without
partiality or prejudice execute the office of Governor of Maryland. According to the Constitution and laws of this state.
According to the Constitution and laws of this state.
And that I will not.
Directly or indirectly.
Receive the profits.
Or
any part of the profits. Of any other office. During the term of my acting. As Governor of Maryland. Congratulations, Governor.
The new governor signing the official register in the Senate chamber, surrounded by his family, his children, Mia and James, looking extremely happy. They're going to be moving to a strange new city in Annapolis, in a new home, the governor's mansion, but word has it they're getting a puppy as part of the deal. Joy Moore, Wes's mother, hugging the Senate President, Bill Ferguson. We don't expect any words in the chamber. The formal remarks will be delivered in about 20 minutes outdoors, and we will bring that to you live. If we can take a look at what
far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair. this solemn prayer. God bless America, the land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America. It's my home, sweet Oh, God bless America. It's the land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. Oh, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home,
Thank you, Dr.
Do you want to come around here because you can hold the other Bible underneath? Is that right? Yes. There we go. Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore,
I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Governor of Maryland, according to the Constitution and laws of this state, and that I will not, directly or indirectly, receive the profits, or any part of the profits, of any other office, during the term, of my acting, as Governor of Maryland. Congratulations, Governor Moore.
got a lot of hugging going on up here. Congratulations, Governor. Okay. Governor brought a friend. I would like to introduce, or two. I would like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Jaime Martinez, a retired United States soldier and great friend of the governor.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jaime Martinez. I'm a retired United States Army soldier, and I am humbled to participate in such a historic day. Honored to say a few words about my friend, Governor Moore. Wes and I met in Afghanistan in 2005 during Operation Enduring Freedom on a hot, dusty airstrip and coast along the Pakistan border, when he reported to our unit, the 82nd Airborne Division, where we were tasked with securing Afghanistan for its first ever legislative elections, while building the local economy and extending the rule of law. The pace of combat operations during that tour involved constant contact with a relentless enemy. That deployment was challenging in ways few can understand, with losses and sacrifices of many great Americans in harsh and austere conditions, all while continuing the mission. You know, Wes did not need to go to Afghanistan in 2005 to 2006. We all know that he had attended a military academy. He had also graduated from Johns Hopkins, where he had proved to be a standout student, and then attended Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar. He was the kind of guy with unlimited potential, and he could have chosen to do anything with his life and succeeded. But Wes also had taken an oath of service, and he saw it as his duty to raise his hand. "Send me," he said, "I will go." And from day one, he was all in. Often, I would walk into the Tactical Operations Center in the middle of the night, and Wes would be there, evaluating reports and providing critical analysis while assisting with battle plans. In effect, to lead our information operations in an area 4 times the size of Maryland. Or he would be out on patrol, engaging the local populace and assessing the effectiveness of our campaign, while targeting the constant threat and reporting back to command. There was no rest. Wes never shrank from his duty, and his commitment never wavered. He was a soldier, he was a leader, and he was the very best of us, and well respected above his rank. His ideas were critical to our success, and in the fluid battle space of Afghanistan, our higher headquarters took notice and replicated that operational art. Our time in Afghanistan and in the service was guided by the Army's values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Now, I could tell you how Wes embodies all of them, but today I'm going to focus on selfless service. You see, selfless service is about putting the welfare of the nation before your own. Selfless service is larger than just one person, where you perform your duty without thought of recognition or personal gain. Because in the Army, and just as the government and in our local communities, it is never one person that does it all. At the end of the day, it is about your personal commitment to the team. It takes all of us doing everything that they can. And that's how Wes Moore leads. Now, I've known Wes for a very long time, and I've seen him on difficult days. Days when every decision was hard and success was far from guaranteed. And he has risen to the toughest of challenges, and he's volunteered to help again and again. I will go is selfless service. I will help is selfless service. I will run is selfless service. And he did. He decided to run for governor of this great state. He said he wanted Maryland to be a state of service. And that philosophy starts at the top. Wes Moore's administration will not be defined by only his leadership or the lieutenant governors. It will be defined by the whole state's worth of leaders. Teachers and first responders, elected officials, union leaders, law enforcement officers, parents. Wes has called on every Marylander to serve and to support one another, to leave no one behind, to leave no one behind. He has made this call because he has lived these values himself. In Afghanistan, I saw a leader emerge from the most difficult challenges. And I see that same leader here today. From Afghanistan to Annapolis, Wes Moore has always put serving others before himself to set the example. He has always delivered, and starting today, he is going to deliver as governor. I could not be more prouder. Thank you. God bless. Airborne. Do great things, my friend.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Colonel, sorry. Lieutenant Colonel Martinez. All right. It is now my great honor to invite forward the beloved American who introduced Wes Moore to America 10 years ago so that she can introduce Wes Moore to us as our 63rd Maryland governor. Welcome, Ms. Oprah Winfrey.
Whoa. Hello, Maryland! I can tell you it is such a joy to be here on this day, and what a joy to be back here in Maryland. I'm back! I have to say, I was just 22 years old when I first came to Maryland. I was starting a new job as a co-anchor of the 6 o'clock news on WJZ-TV. And I left my home in Nashville, and I drove myself here in an Oldsmobile Cutlass to Baltimore. I moved into the 3rd floor at 10109 Windstream Drive, Columbia, Maryland, which at the time was considered this new model city. I was so excited, living away from home for the first time, from my family for the very first time. And as I walked around the city of Baltimore that first week, I saw the strangest thing. their promo campaign was my face on billboards and my face on the backs of buses. My face advertising the 6 o'clock news with Jerry Turner. Remember Jerry Turner? And a question on the billboards and the buses said, "What is an Oprah?" Honestly, I didn't really know the answer to that myself. When I moved to Maryland, I had no idea really who I was or what an Oprah was. But I will tell you something, Maryland is where I figured it out. The 8 years that I lived here were some of the most significant years of my life. I grew up here. From a young, naive girl, I truly had corn growing behind my ears. I was truly green behind the ears, and grew into a woman becoming more and more of myself from every challenge and every experience. I found community here at Bethel AME Church every Sunday. I found the freedom to perform and feed my creative spirit. I found my professional calling sitting alongside Richard Scher for the show People Are Talking. And though it wasn't the job that I moved here to do, it was the job that sparked my desire to use television to tell stories that would impact people's lives. And I found some of the closest friends of my life here, Maria Shriver and my BFF, Gail King. But most important, in Maryland, I found myself. This state is something special. It's a place where so many others have done and will do exactly what I did. Plant the seeds of their wildest dreams and watch those seeds grow into reality. Maryland is full to the brim with opportunity. It was back then, it is now. And I know that with Wes Moore as your governor, Maryland's best days lie ahead. So let me tell you a little bit about the Wes Moore that I know, the Wes that I'm proud to be standing here with today. Well, I met Wes for the first time in 2010 when I interviewed him about his best-selling book. Y'all read the book, right? Everybody's gonna want to read the book now. I was so impressed even then by his integrity and his wisdom. He was wise beyond his years. He knew who he was, and he had a vision for who he intended to be and how he wanted to serve. Though I have to say, I was delightfully surprised when he called me last year, on January 6th, as a matter of fact, to tell me that he wanted to serve as governor. And I said, "You want to run for governor in this political climate where everybody is so polarized, where there's such vitriol? Look at what's happening right now as we speak," because as he was telling me, I could see the CNN screen behind him, and that's the first I knew of the invasion of the Capitol. So then I turned it on. I go, "Look at what's happening. You want to run in this climate?" And he said, "Exactly. Exactly." So I said, "Go for it, and I'll be here if you need me." I always walk away from a conversation with Wes Moore with a new perspective, with new ideas, with a new way of seeing things, a new burst of positive energy. That's what you do for people. And about 5 years ago, Wes and our now First Lady of Maryland, Dawn Moore, had come to my house for dinner, and we had a conversation that stayed with me. I still think about that conversation. We were talking about, as we often do at the table, how to live with purpose and meaning, and how to continue that into your later years, and how to know that you are spending your precious days in a way that you'll be able to look back with pride and have absolutely never any regret. And I remember, Wes, you said to me, because I had just recently ended the show, and you said your job title, talk show host, will change. Your titles change throughout your life, you said, but your occupation will also change. But your work, you said, will always be consistent. Wes has had quite a few titles in his life: Arthur, Army Captain, CEO, and now Governor. The man has worn many hats, but the work he's done, the work he has always done, that has never changed. It has not changed, not even a little. He has always been committed to helping young people find purpose and direction in their lives. That's why he started a small business in Baltimore that gave a helping hand to college students who needed one. He's always believed that everyone deserves an equal shot at success, an opportunity to live well, to have lives that are meaningful, and provide for their families in the way that he's able to provide for James and Mia. That's why he joined the Robin Hood Foundation, one of the largest anti-poverty organizations in America, and distributed more than $600 million to families in need. He has always loved our country and believed that our country is worth fighting for. That's why he served as a captain and a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division. So you see, this might be his first day as an elected official, but Wes Moore has been a public servant his entire adult life. And there's so much more to come. He's just getting started. I once asked Wes what service meant to him, and he told me, it's the thing that makes your heart beat a little bit faster. Well, something tells me that as you prepare to tell us about your vision for a stronger, safer, and more equitable Maryland, a Maryland that leaves no one behind, as you prepare to serve the state that has meant so much to you, I do believe that your heart must be pumping, 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 pumping some wild, ecstatic excitement and love for Maryland and all who abide here. It is my honor to introduce you as my friend, to introduce you as someone who I believe in, as a man I truly respect, and a man I so trust. I trust you. I trust your vision. I trust your leadership. And I want you to know you can trust it too. In your new governor, Wes Moore.
Wow. Hello, Maryland! God bless you all. God bless you all. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for the honor that you have bestowed upon me and Aruna Miller as your next Lieutenant Governor. President Ferguson, Speaker Adrian Jones, members of the Maryland General Assembly, thank you all. It is an honor to be your partner. And to all of our state workers and all who organized this inauguration, thank you. It is an honor to be your new colleague. To Governor Hogan, we are grateful and thankful for the kindness that you and your team have shown throughout this entire transition period. Thank you for 8 years of great service to a state that we both love. my dear friend Oprah Winfrey, a Maryland girl at heart, thank you for your incredibly kind and gracious introduction. It is an honor to be with you today and always, and thank you for always being in my corner. To your new First Lady, my amazing wife, Dawn, and to the new first babies, Mia and James. You are my heart. You are my soul. You're my everything. And I love you. As we stand here today, looking out over Lawyers Mall, and you can see right there the memorial to Justice Thurgood Marshall. It's impossible not to think about our past and our path. We're blocks away from the Annapolis docks, where so many enslaved people arrived in this country against their will, and we are standing in front of a Capitol that was built by their hands. We have made uneven and unimaginable progress since then, and it is a history that has been created by generations of people whose own history was lost, stolen, or never recorded. But one thing we know is that right now we are standing here in our history, in our shared history, in our collective history, made by people who over the past 2 centuries, regardless of their origin story to this state, fought and built a state and a country that works for everybody. And there are 2 people who are here today who embody that spirit, who are sitting right here next to me. 2 extraordinary women named Hema and Joy. Hema came to this country from India. Joy from Jamaica. Yeah, man. They immigrated to America with hope in their hearts, not just for themselves, but for future generations. And now, today they are sitting here together at the inauguration of their children to become the governor and lieutenant governor of a state that helped to welcome them. Please stand up. Please stand up so everybody can see you both. To Aruna's mom, Hema, and to my mom, Joy, you epitomize everything special about this state. And you are proof that in the state of Maryland, anything is possible. Now, yes, Aruna and my portraits are going to look a little bit different from the ones that we've always seen in the Capitol. But that's not the point. This journey has never been about making history. It's about marching forward. Today is not an indictment of the past. Today is a celebration of our collective future. And today, our opportunity to begin this future is so bright, it is blinding, but only if we are intentional, inclusive, and disciplined in confronting challenges, making hard choices, and seizing this opportunity in front of us. Our state is truly remarkable. From my birthplace of Montgomery County to my adoptive home of Baltimore City, from the sandy beaches of the Eastern Shore to the rolling hills of West. Yeah, go ahead, Eastern Shore. Go ahead and make yourselves known. to the rolling hills of Western Maryland, and everywhere in between. Maryland is home to spectacular natural beauty and dynamic industries and people as talented as they are determined. But the truth is, Maryland is asset rich and strategy poor. And for too long, we have left too many people behind. We know it is unacceptable that while Maryland has the highest median income in the country, 1 in 8 of our children live in poverty. We know it is unacceptable that in the home of some of the best medical institutions on the planet, that more than 250,000 Marylanders lack health coverage. We've been asked to accept that some of us must be left behind, and that in order for some to win, it means others must lose. And not only that, we've come to expect that the people who have lost will keep losing. We must refuse to accept that. Instead, I'm asking you to believe that Maryland can be different. I'm asking you to believe that Maryland can be bold, and I'm asking you to believe that in this moment, Maryland can lead. I'm asking you to understand that it is time for our policies to be as bold as our aspirations, and to confront the fact that we have been offered false choices. We do not have to choose between a competitive economy and an equitable one. Maryland should not be 43rd in unemployment or 44th in the cost of doing business. We should not tolerate an 8-to-1 racial wealth gap, not because it only hurts certain groups, but because it prevents all of us from reaching our full potential. We can attract and retain top industries like aerospace, like clean energy, like cybersecurity, and raise the minimum wage to $15 to help folks feed their families. Maryland can reward entrepreneurs who take bold risks and provide stability for families in need. Maryland can be the best place in America for employers and employees. It shouldn't be a choice, it isn't a choice, and the path forward requires us to do both of these things together. And there's another false choice we often hear, that people must choose between feeling safe in their own community and feeling safe in their own skin. Over the last 8 years, we have seen the rate of violent crime rise, and many Marylanders have grown weary in their faith that governments can actually keep them safe. We can build a police force that moves with appropriate intensity and absolute integrity and full accountability, and embrace the fact that we cannot and will not militarize ourselves to safety. We can and we will support our first responders who risk everything to protect us, and change the inexcusable fact that Maryland incarcerates more black boys than any other state in this country. We will work with communities from West Baltimore to Westminster to share data so we can keep violent offenders off of our streets, and we can welcome people who have earned a second chance back to our communities. I know what it feels like to have handcuffs on my wrists. We're not alone. I felt that when I was 11 years old. I also know what it's like to stand with families and mourn the victims of violent crime. We do not have to choose between being a safe state and a just one. Maryland can and we will be both. We're often told that climate change is a problem for the future, or something that you only have to worry about if you live in farmlands or in a flood zone. But climate change is an existential threat, and it is happening now in our communities. And so confronting climate change represents another chance for Maryland to lead. We can and we will be a leader in wind technology, in grid electrification, and in clean transit. We will protect our jewel, the Chesapeake Bay, and address toxic air pollution that chokes our cities, and we will put Maryland on track to generate 100% clean energy by 2035 and create thousands of jobs in the process. Clean energy will not just be a part of our economy, clean energy will define our economy in Maryland. But that requires everybody. Companies, communities, state and local governments, and the people to take bold and decisive action together. And importantly, we do not have to choose between giving our children an excellent education and an equitable one. We will ensure that every single one of our students and every single one of our children knows that this state loves and needs them, and we will create policies that can help them thrive. We will invest in our special education students, our English language learners, our LGBTQIA students, students experiencing homelessness, and every single child who needs a little extra help. And we will see to it that mental and behavioral health challenges do not prevent our children from getting the education that they deserve as well. And while Maryland is home to some of the best and some of the greatest institutions of higher education in this country, something we should be very, very proud of, we must end this myth that young people must attend one of them in order to be successful. That's not the path for every student. To be clear, it wasn't my path. I joined the military when I was 17 years old. I went to a 2-year college, and I think things worked out pretty well. Every student in Maryland will know that there are paths to their success and their fulfillment. And those paths begin with high quality and highly inclusive schools from pre-K to 12th grade. Now, my own journey started in military school, where I learned one of my core values: service. I went on to lead soldiers in Afghanistan, and my years of service transformed me. My character was strengthened, my vistas were widened, and my leadership was tested. I want every young Marylander of every background and from every community to have the opportunity to serve our state. That's why we will offer a service year option for all high school graduates. A year of service can prepare our young people for their careers and also provide our state with future leaders, public servants that we desperately need. The challenges that we will face will require all of us to answer this call to service. To go out and join the ranks of our teachers and our firefighters, our police officers and our civil servants, our nurses and our union members. You've elected me to serve as your governor, but the work will be done together. Now, fair warning. And people say that we cannot rise above the toxic partisanship that we see too often in today's politics, where people care more about where the idea came from than is it a good idea? Those are the same voices that told me at the beginning of this campaign, you don't understand how politics works. And to them, I said and I say, we must govern on big principles and not on petty differences. That we must govern in a way that addresses the needs of all of our families and not worrying about what a political ideology asks us to believe and asks us to do. that we must govern in a way that we will never forget who it is that we're fighting for and what it is that we're supposed to be fighting for. We know that in this moment we have a chance, we have an opportunity, and we have a unique place and space to do something special. And when people say, well, how do you know that you can do this, or how do you know that you can execute upon this in this time of divisiveness, in this time of political vitriol, my answer is this: it's the only way that I've ever led. You know what question I never once asked my soldiers when I was leading soldiers in Afghanistan? What's your political party? It didn't matter. We had one job, one goal, and one mission. My job was to unify our unit and go out and accomplish that mission, and it's the same job and responsibility that we have right now. If we are divided, we can't win. But if we are united, we can't lose. Now, we know that we stand here on the cusp and in a time of a historic measure. And we're very humbled by that. We know that in this time, that while for both Aruna and myself, that we're walking in a space and we're able to see higher because of the shoulders that we're standing on. We also know that is not the assignment. That in this time and in this moment, we have a unique opportunity to lead and to love. We have a unique opportunity to build and to grow. But that opportunity can only happen if we're doing it together. Now is the opportunity that we have to march forward and to march together. And let us march on till victory is won. Today is not the victory. Today is the opportunity. It is our opportunity to lead with love. It is our opportunity to create with compassion. It's our opportunity to fight fearlessly for our future. Maryland, our time is right now. Our time is now to build a state that for those who came before us, that they fought for, and it's a state that leaves no one behind. This is not a slogan, it is the fulfillment of a hope. Maryland, it's time, let's lead and let's do it together. God bless you all, and thank you so much.